Crossing the world of manga and becoming Little Zhengtai, it seems that when crossing, my eyes fall off at the beginning, he was picked up by Shizuki Hiratsuka and returned home awakening. Practice simplified version. You can become stronger by hanging up close to the female lead by following Hiratsuka Jing's side. Breathing can make you stronger. Sleeping with Hiratsuka Jing as a pillow can strengthen the root bones. Yumo realized that the whole world was different when he was ambushed by a purple-haired girl and awakened his heavenly eyes. I thought it was a world of daily life, but after awakening his heavenly eyes, he was about to embark on a sweet romance, but he was asked by a wicked spirit whether he could see it or not. A wet black straight girl in the women's restroom flower from the Exorcism Toilet. Join chat ***. This world is getting worse and worse. Naisaki Wild Rose. Like a deity. Butterfly Chanahui. The gods are up. Lighter. God, do you want to experience passion, life, death, and tenderness like water? Liuyun borrowed the wind and said, Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. 02 Melting cold, evil and girl, seeking everything. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Accompanied by the ringing of the class bell. The corridor is empty. The students and teachers both return to their classrooms. Yumo smoothly returned to the classroom of the club he had joined. Push open the door. He felt the presence of another member. Yumo-jun, you're here. Calm and cold cheeks. At the moment of seeing Yumo, a smile appeared. Words couldn't help but bring a hint of joy. She quickly stood up and stepped forward to support Yumo. After all, this member of the club is a blind person. It's really a big help, Xiaoxue. Yumo was supported by the other party. Accurately sitting in one's own position. I felt the coolness of a gentle breeze blowing by. His clean short hair danced, and the ribbons that wrapped around his eyes danced. Let the girl sink for a while. Did something happen? No response received. Yumo tilted his head in confusion. Look at the girl in front of you. Of course, it cannot be seen, but he can feel the position of his breath. It's nothing. The girl regained her senses and felt a little shy. Fortunately, the other party couldn't see the embarrassing look she had just been in a daze. The purpose of our club is to extend a helping hand to those in need. The girl responded solemnly. As a member, I need you as the minister to take care of me. I can't help you much. I'm really sorry, Xiaoxue. Yumo said with a hint of apology. He is currently a listening student at this school, thanks to Hiratsuka Jing. It is worth mentioning. The current club is also arranged by her for herself. That's right. This club is the Ministry of Attendance. Snow is the minister. And he Yumo. At the same time as the members. Also entrusted to the attendant department for assistance. As for the initiator of the commission. Of course, it is the lovely Shizuki Hiratsuka. In order for Yumo to have a happy time at school, she can be said to have been heartbroken. Even willing to apply for the establishment of a club without passing the application. Entrust him to help take care of Yumo. That's it. Yumo successfully enrolled. And became a member of the Ministry of Attendance. Yumo-jun, you make me feel a bit ashamed to say that. Under the snow is a secluded path. Clearly, I am the one being taken care of. After more than a month of getting along. Clearly agreed to take care of the other person by oneself. But the result is that the other party has been taking care of them all along. Yumo showed a warm and cheerful smile. Quietly feeling the touch of the wind. Can there be such a quiet place? There is another person next to it. Accompanied by beautiful women who can also make their breathing stronger. He quickly fell asleep. Snow falls and returns to one's seat. Quietly looking at the book. First time meeting. Yumo's seat is far away from her. Now. When it snows, the head rises. Glancing at the sleeping Yumo. Show a smile. You can see it as soon as you look up, that's great. She quietly moved the seat again. The distance from the other party is only a few tens of centimeters. This is the girl's final reserve. A petite and isolated girl. A blind man who is also excluded and isolated. Surprisingly, we got along very well. See you tomorrow, Xiaoxue. See you tomorrow, Yumo Jun. The short day has come to an end. When the door closes. Shueji Xiaoxue's expression returned to its original coldness. Only in front of Yumo. She only shows ease and joy. I don't know why. When Yumo was by her side, she felt a pleasant and comfortable aura emanating from her entire body. I don't feel tired at all. It seems like. Does it even seem like my physical strength has increased? It's an illusion, right? How could it be because of Yumo Jun? When it snows, shake your head. I feel like this idea is absurd. Unfortunately. Hiratsuka Jing has something to deal with today. After all, he is a Mandarin teacher and life guidance teacher. It's normal to be busy occasionally. Yumo asked, so, do I need to go back first? No way. Hiratsuka Jing sternly refused. Although my family is wealthy for the convenience of work. Her home is not far from the college. But let his beloved blind brother go home alone. Just think about it, it's impossible. Yumo suggested, then I'll take a walk nearby. Don't go too far. Hiratsuka Jing smiled and agreed. After all, he is a blind man who is as fast as flying. So. Yumo strolled alone near the school. Unconsciously. Walking into a small alley. Hey, little sister, where do you want to go? Accompany us brothers to play at home for a while. Two thugs wearing high school uniforms with red and yellow hair stopped the purple-haired girl. Invite loudly. Look at the two of them being domineering. If the girl dares not comply, the two of them will definitely use force to coerce. But the girl no longer showed the timidity of discovering being followed. She stared coldly at the two scumbags in front of her. Are you sure you want to go home and play? The girl's questioning was icy and piercing. The excited laughter of the two became even more unrestrained. Of course. Go to my brother's house to play, his house will definitely make you reluctant to leave. The girl clenched the wooden knife in her hand. Yu Guang suddenly saw Yumo walking into the alley. A straight posture and handsome appearance. Even if the eyes are covered with black cloth strips. It can't hide his face either. It can be said that it is the most beautiful she has ever seen. I seem to have disturbed your good deed. Yumo smiled. Slowly approaching them. Why, even a blind person wants a hero to save beauty. Stinky blind man, I think you're tired of living crookedly. At first, I was a bit nervous. But what I saw was a blind man. The two of them suddenly became arrogant again. Walking fiercely towards Yumo. The girl lifted her wooden knife and then looked at the soft and falling yellow hair in shock. She looked at Yumo with suspicion. The other party still wore a warm and cheerful smile. Standing quietly in place. It seems like there has never been any action. But under his feet. But there were two delinquent youths lying soft and prone. I am the main general of the kendo department. Surprisingly, I didn't see the other person's movements clearly. Breathe steadily without any panic. Did you just prepare to launch a counterattack? It seems that I have taken an extra step. Yumo shook his head and slowly turned around to leave. He heard the commotion in the alley. I just came in. But through his observation, it seems that the other party doesn't need any help. You can solve these two miscellaneous fish by yourself. The girl suddenly asked, what's your name? Qin Yumo left without looking back. This makes the girl feel a bit regretful. My name is Qin Yumo. A light and ethereal voice came, and the girl took note of the name. Looking at the familiar and serious injuries on the soft and prone to delinquents, her eyes lit up slightly. P.S. New book release, seeking all data. Request all data related to collection, monthly tickets, evaluation tickets, rewards, etc. Leave a few comments as well if you have a favorite character. You can also leave a message. The author's main focus is on listening to advice and responding to any reservations. 01 OK, quiet and lovely, no problem, quiet and lovely, seeking one. You are listening at novel full.audio. Is he Qin Yumo? How handsome. It's a pity, the young and energetic girls were discussing in a low voice. Face like peach blossoms. The slender legs couldn't help but clamp tightly. Not far away. Known as Qin Yumo, he was just a young man in his early 16 or 17 years old. Standing tall and straight like a pine. His face is also sharp and handsome. But it's just such a handsome face. But there was a black cloth strip covering his eyes. Originally, he is a blind man. This makes the girl in Huichuan feel a pity. Qin Yumo was not born blind, but only became blind after crossing over. 2 years ago, he unexpectedly traveled to this world. Discovering a void in front of oneself. Hunger combined. Falling into the garbage dump. Later, she was picked up by a beautiful woman and returned home. Relying on a handsome appearance. He doesn't have to worry about starving or freezing to death for now. Can it be said that he is the saddest traveler, right? Hello teacher. Hello teacher. A faint greeting sounded. Not for a while. Qin Yumo felt his hands being held by a pair of tender white hands. Helped up. The ball stuck up. Scattered, scattered, what's there to watch? The person scolded. Although not visible. But Qin Yumo could feel it. The departure of people around. Feeling the familiar aura approaching. A familiar touch is transmitted. My arms are being supported. Touched the softness. Qin Yu smiled and said, it's okay, it's quiet and lovely. That's right. Supporting her is Hiratsuka Jing. I heard Qin Yumo affectionately addressing me. Hiratsuka Jing has long been accustomed to it. Although sometimes I still feel a little shy. Looking at Qin Yumo growing in front of me. The charm is even greater than before. Hiratsuka Jing sighed and said, in the blink of an eye, it's been 2 years since then. 2 years ago. When she went downstairs to litter. I saw Qin Yumo unconscious in the garbage dump. At first glance. She was attracted by the other person's temperament and appearance. I don't know what I think either. She just brought the other person home like that. Through the identification on the other party's body. I learned about the information of the young man in front of me. Qin Yumo, from the Heavenly Dynasty. My parents passed away and I am an orphan. After learning that the other person is blind and unable to see clearly. A peaceful tomb with a heart full of gold. Resolutely left Qin Yumo behind. This also avoids the possibility of him starving or freezing to death. My family's Yumo is even more handsome now. I don't know which girl was so lucky in the end. Hiratsuka gently touched Qin Yumo's small head. The tone was somewhat emotional. 2 years. After washing it clean, it was still a delicate little Zhengtai. Nowadays, he is becoming more and more handsome. Hear Hiratsuka Jing's words. Qin Yumo mocked himself and said, Jing is cute, don't joke with me anymore. I'm blind, which girl can take a liking to me? He is blind and can't see anything. What can I do? Promise is possible. The matter of finding the plug for the socket is entirely based on intuition. And although he has lost his sight. But while staying by Hiratsuka Jing's side, breathing can make it stronger. Sleeping can strengthen the roots and bones. At first, it wasn't very obvious. But now almost 2 years have passed. Yumo could clearly feel that his body was much stronger. They also grow faster than ordinary people. Don't look at him being thin. Taking off clothes is all muscle. Hiratsuka Jing has the most say in this matter. After all, Yumo is blind, and he used to need the care of Hiratsuka Jing. For example, washing incense and so on. Yumo's growth and changes in the past 2 years. She is very clear. Recently, Yumo has been able to distinguish between sound and position, and life is not a problem. Hiratsuka Shizuki was relaxed, but also somewhat regretful. There is an illusion that children have grown up. But marrying a wife, although Yumo knew that his appearance was indeed good. But whose girl can take a liking to him as a blind person? Upon hearing this, Hiratsuka Jing's small hand trembled as he tightly supported Yumo's arm. She looked at Yumo, who had a look of inferiority. I suddenly felt a bit heartbroken. There was a moment of silence. It's okay, sister will always take care of you, Hiratsuka Jing said with a smile. Yumo smiled. That's what you said, then I'll rely on you. Quiet and lovely. Hiratsuka Jing triggered the iron fist of justice condition. He punched Yumo in the abdomen and said coquettishly, "Call me sister." Yumo pretended to be in pain. Bow your body in coordination. Like a cooked shrimp. Hiratsuka Jing rolled her white eyes. For Yumo, she is clear about her tender flesh. Where didn't you know this kid was pretending? Disguising failed. Yumo has some regrets. Immediately, he nodded repeatedly and said, "Okay, quiet and lovely, no problem, quiet and lovely." Hiratsuka Jing looked at the young man in front of him with a funny expression. At the beginning, the boy was timid, like an injured and homeless kitten. As time goes by, the relationship between the two sides is also becoming increasingly intimate. I don't know when. Even the way one addresses oneself has gradually changed. Changed from sister to quiet and lovely. After all, I have grown up. It's sister. Hiratsuka Jing repeated. Yumo nodded earnestly and said, "Okay, quiet and lovely, no problem, quiet and lovely." Hiratsuka Jing had no choice but to support her forehead and was too lazy to correct it. Anyway, it has been called that for half a year now. I have already gotten used to it. And this kind of intimate and unique title. She actually likes it in her heart. Yumo, why do you call me Jing cute? Ping Zujing supported Yumo as he walked. Asked with some confusion. Yumo smiled and said, "Because you are super cute." Hiratsuka Jing glanced at Yumo and smiled. "You haven't seen me before, maybe I'm ugly." Yumo thought carefully for a moment, then smiled gently. "Aren't we a perfect match? I'm blind, I can't see what you look like. You are the cutest and most beautiful in my heart. What if we can see it? You are still the cutest, the quiet and lovely one I like. You." Hiratsuka Jing's heart trembled and she smiled helplessly. After overcoming the initial discomfort. Always so gentle towards oneself. He is really a guy that people can't help but like. Listen to the ringing of the class bell. Yumo raised his hand and accurately touched Ping Zujing's face. "Quiet and lovely, you're going to class now. It's not good for teachers to skip classes." Hiratsuka Jingjiao angrily knocked off Yumo's hand. "My little face is slightly red. It looks very cute." Unfortunately, Yumo couldn't see such a beautiful scenery. "Can you be alone?" Hiratsuka Jing felt a bit uneasy. "Of course not a problem. I can go to the club alone." Yumo smiled and said. Leaving the support of Hiratsuka Jing. Feeling her robust body leaving, Hiratsuka felt inexplicably regretful. He looks clearly blind. But Yumo left with swift steps. Hiratsuka Jing is no exception. P.S. New book release, seeking all data. Request all data related to collection, monthly tickets, evaluation tickets, rewards, etc. Leave a few comments as well. The first day data is really important. If you have a favorite character, you can also leave a message. The author's main focus is on listening to advice and responding to any reservations. A quiet and lovely girl with purple hair and buttocks in the morning of 04. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Good morning, quiet and lovely. Good morning Yumo. Inside the room. Hiratsuka Jing tightly hugged Yumo's arm and yawned. Feeling my arms being devoured. Yumo silently mourned for 3 seconds. At some point, he and she switched from 2 houses to 1. Afterwards, it never changed again. Both sides have become accustomed to each other's existence. After Yumo has washed and prepared breakfast, Hiratsuka Jing, who was bedridden, finally walked out of the room. She yawned and took off her thin sheer nightgown. Wearing restraints. There are also timeless shirts and tight-fitting suit pants. Make yourself look more mature. After enjoying a delicious breakfast, she put on black low heels. She reached a height of 170. There is no need to wear high heels to improve one's figure. Moreover, she doesn't like the height that is too different from Yumo. This is just right. As for the reason, I just don't like it. There's no other reason. Serious face. Setting off, Yumo. Still being held and held. Hiratsuka Jing happily led Yumo to the Zongwu High School. Since Yumo also went to school, she enjoyed holding Yumo's hand and walking together to Zongwu High School. Even getting up earlier than usual is worth it. At the entrance of the college, a girl with purple hair, her eyes lit up. She saw the figure of the boy yesterday. Teacher Hiratsuka Jing. She murmured softly and did not go to say hello. Turn around and enter the college. Yumo suddenly turned his head and his eyes, covered by a black cloth, aimed precisely at the back of the departing girl. What's wrong? Hiratsuka asked curiously. Yumo smiled softly and shook his head. It's okay. As an observer, I am still blind. Although Yumo has a good appearance, he has not been able to integrate into these small groups. However, he also has no interest in integrating. After all, maintaining a smile to conform and please others. He can't do such a thing. Sakura is a strange place. Some people who want to integrate into small circles need to learn to be tools. There is also the so-called senior culture. TSK. It's bad enough. Yumo stopped in confusion. A steady breath stood in front of him, blocking his way. It's the girl from the alley yesterday. Is there anything I can help with, student? Yumo showed a warm and cheerful smile and asked in a gentle tone. Yumo-jun, I want to talk to you. The girl with purple hair reaching her waist said in a suppressed tone. Yumo nodded and said, sure, where can we go and say it? He naturally wouldn't refuse an invitation from a beautiful woman. Not to mention, the person yesterday was injured by themselves after all. Probably hoping to admit it yourself. After all, no one believes that it could be one blind man who knocked down 2 delinquents. Follow me. She generously pulled Yumo's arm into her arms. The nearby classmates suddenly exclaimed in surprise. Yumo was taken aback. Will he receive benefits on the second meeting? He only mourned for his swallowed arm once. A powerful force came, and Yumo cooperated to follow him away. The footsteps were not disorderly at all, still very stable. He originally intended to go find Xuanai. Being near her can make breathing stronger, while sleeping can elevate one's bones. But now he has changed his mind. Because this person can also help him become stronger. Quiet and lovely, snow falls when it snows. So who could this beautiful girl be? Yumo pondered inwardly. At the beginning, I knew that it was when Hiratsuka Jing picked me up and brought me home. He thought he had come to the anime world of Chunwoo. But through the words spoken by Hiratsuka Jing, combined with what I heard during my time at the college, he found that it seemed to be a complex everyday world. After all, what is currently known is Pingsua Jing, Shuana, Xiaoxue Shiyu, Ingli Li, and others. It's obvious. This is a world of daily life. It's really gratifying and congratulatory. And being able to continuously become stronger through close contact with these female leads. Since the girl in front of me can make myself stronger. That must be one of the female leads. I just don't know, who is the other party? The top floor of the school. This is a very nice place. Being able to bring the scenery of the college into view and enjoy the comfort of a gentle breeze. It's also very quiet. Usually, there won't be anyone coming. Jiya. The door on the top floor was closed. Yumo felt the wind blowing and the faint fragrance on the girl's body. Comfortable on the face. As for the other party bringing themselves up and closing the door. There was no response at all. Can't you really see it? The girl asked in confusion. She used brute force to lead the other person, but he still walked steadily. It can also avoid obstacles along the way. This doesn't seem like a blind person at all, does it? Yumo chuckled and said, "Do you want to take a look?" He has long been accustomed to the confusion of others. After all, he is not the kind of ordinary blind person, he is the kind of blind person who can do what other blind people cannot. Abbreviation. God blind. Is that okay? The girl spoke hesitantly. Yumo nodded and said, "If you want to see it, naturally you can. Anyway, it's just about looking at the eyes, not about looking at your own koan. There is nothing to avoid." Yumo reached behind his head with both hands and untied the cloth strip. The tightly closed eyelids trembled a few times before slowly opening. The girl stared tightly into his eyes and remained silent. "Did it scare you?" Yumo saw that the other party had not spoken for a while and asked with a bitter smile. "No, it looks great." Just as Yumo was about to tie the cloth again, the girl's voice finally sounded. In the eye sockets, sparkling beads were like precious gemstones of jade. Inlaid inside. In the eyes of the girl, these are a very beautiful pair. But with lifeless eyes. How beautiful would it be when there is a god restored? Yumo was stunned for a moment, and this was the third one to say that his eyes were beautiful. But judging from the reactions of others, it doesn't seem to be beautiful. Do you think he's wearing black cloth to look good or to be handsome? He smiled and assumed that the other person was comforting him. "So, Yumo-jun. Why did you hit so hard yesterday?" The girl nervously looked at the handsome young man in front of her, looking forward to his answer. There's no need to be cautious when dealing with the bully's miscellaneous fish. It should be said that the law protected them. Yumo answered seriously. "Who is he?" "He comes from the Heavenly Dynasty, from China. If it weren't for the inability to handle the consequences. He doesn't mind sending it to hell." P.S. New book release, seeking all data. Request all data related to collection, monthly tickets, evaluation tickets, rewards, etc. Leave a few comments as well if you have a favorite character. You can also leave a message. The author's main focus is on listening to advice and responding to any reservations. 03 Despite having an adult European style, their personality still resembles. You are listening at novelfull.audio. "Yumo, where did you go?" The urgent voice of Hiratsuka Jing rang out. Duh duh duh. Quickly step on high heels. I ran to Yumo's body. Are you okay, Yumo? Hiratsuka touched his body with concern to see if he was injured. But Yumo felt that the other party was eating his own tofu. Who keeps touching the abdominal muscles and inverted triangle? However, Yumo did not expose it. Sorry, Jing cute, you're worried. Let's go home. Yumo reached out his hand and quietly gazed at Hiratsuka Jing. Okay, go home. Hiratsuka Jing held Yumo's hand. The warm breath emanates through the skin. Even if it wasn't the first time holding her, she still felt a little shy. Unconsciously. This sibling relationship seems to have deteriorated a bit. Hiratsuka Jing's home is not far from the school. Just cross a few streets and you'll be there. Along the way, when crossing zebra crossings, Yumo could feel the nervousness of Hiratsuka Jing. In fact, he doesn't need Hiratsuka Jing to hold him at all to be able to navigate smoothly. But Jing is cute and caring for him with a kind heart, and her little hands are so soft. Staying together for a lifetime is not tiring. Then hold on. I'll go open the door. Hiratsuka Jing quickly opened the door. Run back and hold Yumo's hand again. Return to the home of two people. Furniture and tables are arranged in an orderly manner, and the home is not messy. The floor and tabletop are clean and tidy. Hiratsuka Jing ran into the kitchen and took out all the ingredients prepared in the refrigerator. Started cleaning. Yumo also walked into the kitchen. Accurately hold the kitchen knife in your hand. Take the ingredients handed over by Hiratsuka Jing and showcase your perfect knife skills. The two have clear division of labor and tacit cooperation. The person responsible for cutting vegetables and cooking delicious food is a blind man. No matter how you look at it, there is a strong sense of discord. Hiratsuka Jing retreated to the kitchen and leaned against the door frame. Watching Yumo carefully prepare delicious food. An involuntary smile appeared. When I just picked it up, it was indeed she who was taking care of Yumo. But not long after. The roles were swapped. The messy home was cleaned up completely. Even when she comes back one day. Surprisingly, I saw a table full of Chinese cuisine. For this reason. She angrily scolded Yumo, feeling that the other party was deceiving her feelings. Have you ever seen a blind person who can not only clean up their home? Can you even cook and cook? This life is even more exquisite than what she can see when I thought of Yumo, who had been scolded by me for being so bloody, panicked, and helpless. Hiratsuka Jing's gaze softened by 3 points. But when I think about it, I am once again certain that Yumo is truly blind. Even taking it to the hospital for testing is really invisible. It was my own embarrassment when I misunderstood Yumo. Hiratsuka Jing felt guilty again. Almost. I almost let go of such a big guy. When I think of my clean and tidy home afterwards. There are also warm dishes that can be eaten when you come back. She couldn't help but show a hint of tenderness. Noticing the intense fluctuations in Jing's heart. Yumo's waves are calm and there is no fluff in his cooking of Chinese cuisine. Wow, eat well. The fatigue of a tiring day has been cured. Hiratsuka enjoyed the delicious food with her eyes shining brightly. Eating while praising. Even if it's not the first time tasting. She can still feel the delicious taste at the entrance. The most correct thing I have done in my life is to take you home. Hiratsuka said happily. And it's important not to mention that it was picked up. But take it home. Yumo also felt the tenderness of Jing cute towards herself. Even so, it's not allowed to drink alcohol. Yumo accurately grasped Hiratsuka Jing's small hand. I brought over the wine that I had stolen and opened. Yumo, just take a sip, okay? Hiratsuka watched with pain as the wine drifted away. Immediately act coquettishly towards Yumo. Only in front of Yumo can she be so relaxed and happy. It's like a child. I can't stand you, Jing cute. Although there is a mature European style, the personality is still like that of a child. Yumo's helpless roast. Yumo, are you speaking impolitely to your sister? Hiratsuka Jing crossed his waist. A blush appeared on the face. I lowered my head and glanced at the proud capital that couldn't see my toes. A bit shy. Here. Yumo ignored her words and took out a small wine glass to accurately fill it. Handed it out. Hiratsuka Jing instantly changed her face and took the wine glass. I started drinking in small sips. While drinking, he roast, it's so pathetic. I used to drink more than this one at random, sister. Yumo tilted his head. The proposal said, then take back this cup as well. Hiratsuka Jing quickly hid his wine glass behind him. Looking pitifully at Yumo. Yumo, the coquettish sound of coquettishness came from the mouth of Hiratsuka Jing. It's really quiet and cute. Yumo put the open jar of wine back in the refrigerator. There was no action to withdraw a glass of wine from Shizuki Hiratsuka. Hee hee. Hiratsuka Jing smiled proudly and continued to drink in small sips. During the period, Yumo accurately picked up large chunks of meat, with the outer charred and inner tender. Feed to Hiratsuka Jing. Most of the food he prepared was meat. There's no way. Who would have a sister who likes to eat meat? Ah, I'm full now, so comfortable, Hiratsuka spoke with a long ending. With a happy expression on his face, he touched his lower abdomen. Yumo, sister, I feel like I've gained weight. What if I become a fat woman and can't get married in the future? Yumo pondered carefully for a moment. Then he said, I'll reluctantly take you as my wife. Hiratsuka Jing suddenly became shy. Yumo, have you been too inflated lately? Strike the iron fist of justice. Yumo curled up on the ground in coordination. Full emotional value. Hiratsuka Jing smiled proudly and unbuttoned her sleeping button. Walking towards the room. Her snow-white skin was exposed to the air, and she really didn't treat Yumo as an outsider at all. After all, he is blind. Unleashing all his restraints, Hiratsuka Jing glanced at the capital detached from gravity. It's okay. Still so upright and energetic. It did not fall down due to gravity. She walked into the bathroom with a smile. The sound of water flowing is heard. Pingsua Jing, separated by a wall, is washing incense. Still humming a song with a strong sense of time. When Hiratsuka Jing came out wrapped in a towel, the restaurant was already clean and tidy. Even the kitchen has been cleaned up. This makes Hiratsuka Jing, who is not good at household chores, even more joyful. Let someone who is not good at household chores handle household chores. That feeling is really terrible. Fortunately, now that she has Yumo, this feeling is really amazing. P.S. New book release, seeking all data. Request all data related to collection, monthly tickets, evaluation tickets, rewards, etc. Leave a few comments as well if you have a favorite character. You can also leave a message. The author's main focus is on listening to advice and responding to any reservations. The perfect reign from 011, well versed in being a woman. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. The streets are still very empty. At this time either at school or at work. A girl with long dark purple hair, wearing a school uniform and holding a wooden knife. Her face is cold and beautiful, and her figure is proud. Emitting the aura of a mature beauty. Behind me. He is a tall and upright man with a handsome physique. Unfortunately. The other party seems to be blind, what a pity. But his steps are steady, his breathing is steady, and his cane lightly touches the ground. Standing tall with a faint smile on his face. From behind, there was no sign that he was blind. Feel the warmth from the palm of your hand, as well as the strength to improve. Yumo did not stop the other party from holding hands. Anyway, it's not oneself who is at a disadvantage. The skies suddenly changed drastically, and a rain quickly fell. Both of them didn't carry umbrellas in their hands, and in the blink of an eye, their clothes were soaked through. Fortunately, I happened to be at the door. Ryoko Tokushima paused in his footsteps. A small building with a single door and courtyard, with the doorplate indicating the Poison Island family. It is obvious that this is not the old residence of the Poison Island family. It's just the residence of Ryoko Tokushima himself. Mo Jun, here we are. Poison Island Ryoko quickly led Yumo into the room. A rain soaked the clothes on both of them. The close-fitting school uniform and skin are tightly attached, and the already proud figure is clearly visible. Yumo's school uniform inevitably got wet. Out of courtesy, he was about to take the initiative to change into slippers. But he could see Ryoko Tokushima kneeling on the ground, like a qualified wife waiting for her husband to finish work and just return home. He delivered a pair of shoes to Yumo's feet. And kindly took off his shoes, helping him complete the replacement of his slippers. After all, she is a descendant of a traditional family and a very outstanding traditional woman. She is known as a woman who is like a Yamato caressing her son and deeply understands the way of being a woman. Mo Jun, be careful under your feet. Poison Island Ryoko gently took Yumo's hand again. The jade feet wrapped in black socks left their shoes and stepped directly on the floor. I have water on me. Yumo reminded. It's okay, Mo Jun. Ryoko Tokushima arranged for Yumo to sit down, paying no attention to water droplets dripping onto the sofa. Please wait, Mo Jun. Poison Island Ryoko left, and Yumo curiously looked around. The cleaning is very clean, and the decoration is also very warm. There are traces of frequent use in the kitchen, and if I remember correctly, Sister Poison Island is very good at cooking. While sweeping through a certain room, Yumo carefully admired it. Take off the soaked school uniform. The ball is so big that one hand cannot hold it. A woman with a circumference of 83 d. 56.86 cm is terrifying, even though she is only a 17 or 18-year-old senior. But with a proud figure that many women envy. The gravitational force once again lost its effect and was unable to drag it down. The knee-length skirt fell to the ground, revealing the slender white jade legs of Ryoko Tokushima, which were over a meter long. Ryoko Tokushima leaned over the cabinet and replaced the wet black socks on his feet. The peach blossom spring was perfectly displayed in front of Yumo. Purple really has a charm, Song-gu is not deceiving me. This is my father's clothes and he hasn't worn them yet. Mo Jun should be able to wear it. Ryoko Tokushima took out an unopened suit. Single Poison Island Ryoko naturally doesn't have any other men's clothing in his home. This set is still something she prepared to give to her father, but unfortunately he has not yet returned to China. At this point, it happened to come in handy. Yumo nodded slightly as he looked at the cool attire of Poison Island Ryoko. After all, it seems that she is a Poison Island senior who has a natural understanding of dressing, always, unintentionally, dressing very sexy. And I am a blind person. There's no need to intentionally wrap yourself up so tightly in front of a blind person, right? That self-perception may be a bit too good. Of course, you still need to protect yourself when going out. At least we can't be deceived by fake blind people. Mo Jun, the hot water has been drained. To avoid catching a cold, it's better to clean it. Poison Island Ryoko gently did everything and took Yumo to the bathroom. The hot water in the bathtub has been drained, emitting heat. Sister Poison Island, are you too unguarded towards me? Yumo couldn't help but say. From the moment you enter, you treat yourself as someone you can trust. You can feel tenderness and thoughtfulness everywhere. There is no act of distrust towards oneself at all. Mo June. Poison Island Ryoko asked in a gentle voice. Is Mo June interested in learning about some of my past? Understand the most authentic me. Here we are you planning to open up to yourself? Yumo turned around and looked straight at Ryoko Tokushima. I'm very interested. I've thought of everything about Jeju Island Senior. Any good or bad, all. Yumo said seriously, his tone full of determination. Ryoko Tokushima clearly showed a surprised expression, his lips parted. Then he couldn't help but cover his mouth and laugh. Her delicate body trembled slightly. You really are. The cold and gorgeous Poison Island Ryoko has a particularly cute smile. I'm very serious, Poison Island Senior Sister. Hot water emits heat, and smoke fills the bathroom. Ryoko Tokushima lifted her red lips and recounted her little known experience. Open your heart. I have attacked living people. Well, coincidentally, I have also attacked. And it was attacked in front of you, the attack was quite heavy. The responsibility for that crime has been borne by Sister Poison Island. Yumo affirmed. There was no report of misconduct, and no police came to find him. Ryoko Tokushima also attended school normally without any changes. Ryoko Tokushima nodded and continued speaking. 3 years ago, I was attacked by a man on the road at night. Of course, I won't lose. At that time, I really opened the wooden knife and broke the man's thigh and shoulder bones. After understanding the incident, the police officers used a police car to transport it to their home. Yumo listened attentively and had no intention of interrupting. I also didn't tell the other party that I had a clear understanding of these things. When someone stands in front of you, tell you that they know all the secrets of your past. I believe no one will like this feeling, right? If it were Yumo, he would immediately subdue the other party and torture them severely. And Ryoko Tokushima, who has a similar personality to Yumo, would also do the same, right? An unexpected coincidence, so am I. Although there is a hint of excessive defense, this kind of miscellaneous fish is not worthy of sympathy, is it? If it were me, it would be the same. Yumo smiled faintly and spoke lightly. What has always constrained me is not the matter itself. P.S. I have seen all the characters you want, and I will arrange to add them. The direction of this book is to focus on the daily life of the world in which it is located, while also fighting monsters and exploring the daily female protagonist. Do you prefer daily interactions, chat groups, and other characters? I update no less than 4 chapters every day, because each chapter is over 2,000 words long, and the 4 chapters are basically 9,000 to 10,000 words long. Request for collection, monthly tickets, review tickets, tips, updates, and comments. 08 Becoming the group leader, bathing with Jing and being cute, seeking everything. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. In the bathroom. Hiratsuka happily hummed a somewhat old song. Enjoying the pleasure of hot water washing away my snow-white flesh. Beyond a wall. Yumo sat cross-legged on the sofa, lost in thought. There are a lot of things happening today. I thought this was the real world of anime. After all, there is still peace in Hiratsuka and Snowfall. Later, I learned about the existence of other familiar people. Understood, this seems like a daily anime. Result. Today, for some reason, I awakened my heavenly eye. Afterwards, I saw those dirty things again. I can easily kill them myself. Being able to discern their identities, the rare and unknown energy within their bodies is also their nemesis. The toilet saved a wet and beautiful girl. The other party turned out to be Shiyu of the black silk and fat mist hill. The purple-haired girl peeking outside the door exuding a mature and beautiful aura. Surprisingly, it's Ryoko Tokushima. I didn't recognize it immediately. As expected, there are differences between anime and reality. But without exception. They are all top-notch beauties. Tokushima Ryoko kindly took Shiyu of Hajime Hill away. Can't Yumo, this blind man, hold a wet black straight beauty? That's probably going to spread strange rumors tomorrow, and even Yumo will be taken to the police station for tea. Bad news, Toxic Island Ryoko. Good news, she is currently a second-grade senior. If I remember correctly, the apocalypse only erupted in third grade. So there's almost a year left for preparation. So daily manga is fake. Is this the end of the manga? Poisonous Island Ryoko, as well as evil spirits and urban legends. Isn't Sigugenzi also here? However, compared to these, what is even more outrageous is the interface of the chat group in Yumo's mind. This is killing the flower in the toilet, saving the black silk fat that was almost killed by the flower. A new thing that appears after holding the other person and having intimate contact with them. Chat groups, everyone understands. Currently, Yumo is the only member of the chat group. At the same time, I am also the group leader and have the management permissions for this chat group. The functions of chat groups are also very simple, including check.in and chatting. Perhaps there may be changes in the future, but currently only these two features are available. It is worth mentioning. There is currently no one in the chat group. After all, this group is newly built, and his group leader has just taken office. So, how can I attract people without an invitation button? Yumo felt a bit distressed. Yumo. The bathroom door was pushed open, and Hiratsuka Jing walked out. What's wrong, Jing cute? Yumo regained his senses and saw Pingsua Jing, who was simply wrapped in a towel. Snow-white skin can be broken by blowing. After being washed away by hot water, the white inside turns red, which is very tempting. A pair of long legs closed, as if proud capital was about to stand out. We haven't taken a bath together for a long time, have we? Hiratsuka Jing said with some anticipation. The last time we took a bath together was still the last time. I understand. Yumo nodded. Come on, come on. Hiratsuka Jing felt a little delighted and happily returned to the bathroom. Dripped into the bathtub filled with hot water. The bathroom door was not closed, waiting for Yumo's arrival. Seeing Yumo walking around a towel, Hiratsuka Jing quickly got up and left the bathtub. Just walked out and hugged Yumo's arm. Take him into the bathroom. The arm was once again engulfed. The carefully raised little rabbit bounces and jumps so cute. The cherry red two large pupils are unparalleled in beauty. I usually don't see you exercising, Yumo. Arrange Yumo on a small stool. Hiratsuka Jing held a spray to help him wash his fragrance, and his tender white hands lingered in the 8 abdominal muscles and inverted triangle area. May it be a natural talent. Yumo joked. Hiratsuka Jing glanced at the towel and nodded in agreement. Nodding to a blind person is something she can do. After washing the fragrance, Yumo and Hiratsuka both comfortably plunged into the spacious bathtub. Wash and soak. The exhaustion of the day seems to have been washed away. Feeling the warm and delicate jade feet, Yumo felt a bit uneasy. A flame ignited in the lower abdomen. What's wrong with this woman? This is starting a fire. What's wrong, Yumo? Are you feeling shy? Zayo Yumo has grown up. Hiratsuka extended her small hand and pinched Yumo's cheek. On the face underwater. The delicate sensation of sheep fat spread, and Yumo's mind was shaken. Jing's lovely skin is so tender, it doesn't look like a person in their 30s at all. The bathroom was quiet, except for the occasional splashing sound of mischievous snow. White jade feet rubbing against it. The warm atmosphere made Hiratsuka feel inexplicably lost in thought. If it could continue like this, it would be great. To be honest. When she saw Xiaoxue today and looked at Yumo with that different look in her eyes. I have an inexplicable taste and irritability in my heart. Suddenly, I regretted stuffing my little Yumo into the attendant department. I handed it over to Shuanai. I really don't know what will happen to me when you leave. Hiratsuka leaned against the edge of the bathtub. Jiao Yazi playfully played with the water and suddenly sighed. Before picking up Chin Yumo, what was she like? The house is in a mess, with finished wine bottles and stuffed ashtrays everywhere. She, who is not good at household chores, makes this house a mess. All the changes happened 2 years ago. After she picked up Chin Yumo, who was abandoned by her owner, from the garbage dump. The change has begun. I don't know when their identities changed. Learn household chores from Hiratsuka Jing and try to keep the room clean and tidy as much as possible. Take care of Chin Yumo, brush his teeth, wash his face, and fragrance. You can't expect a blind person the day after tomorrow to do these things. Go to Chin Yumo behind to take care of Ping Zujing. I drank less alcohol, so I decided to quit smoking. My daily routine has also returned to normal, and I am full of energy every day. Even being joked about whether one has received nourishment from men. A radiant appearance. I don't go out drinking or driving for a ride after work. But rushed back eagerly. When Chin Yumo saw the joy of preparing his favorite food and smiled at himself. After arranging Chin Yumo's enrollment a month ago, she got up early and held Chin Yumo's hand. Passing through one street after another. The beautiful days of going to college together. If Yumo and Xiaoxue are really together, he will move out, right? After all. I am an old woman now. Think of this. Hiratsuka Jing buried her face in the water, feeling somewhat depressed, and bubbly bubbles appeared. Quiet and lovely, I won't leave your side. I promise to be together for a lifetime. Chin Yumo smiled with a sunny smile and said word by word. Hiratsuka Jing emerged from the water. P.S. New book release, seeking all data. Request all data related to collection, monthly tickets, evaluation tickets, rewards, etc. Leave a few comments as well if you have a favorite character. You can also leave a message. The author's main focus is on listening to advice and responding to any reservations. 05 was ambushed, Tianyan, bullet time. Seeking 1. You are listening at novel full.audio. What an inexplicable girl. Roof. Chin Yumo silently touched his lips. I can still feel a hint of warmth. Did you actually get ambushed? Although the first kiss was unintentionally taken away by Jing cute. But. Is it really good to kiss others casually? And. I haven't said what my name is yet. I feel like you're the same person as me. What exactly does this sentence mean? Chin Yumo looked up at the sky. Although he cannot see the colors of the sky. Chin Yumo suddenly froze. In his mind, a clear picture came to mind. Blue sky and white clouds. The ground underfoot and the surrounding walls. There are also classrooms below the ground. A group of young boys and girls walking around wearing JK school uniforms. Everything around him was presented to him at 360 degrees without any dead corners. Just like being covered by consciousness, all the scenes and things in this space have nowhere to hide. More complete and clear than what you see with your own eyes. Chin Yumo was completely confused for a moment. What is this called? God's perspective. No, God's perspective is a third-party perspective. But he still sees everything from a first-person perspective. Isn't this 360 holographic image with perspective? No, this is too low and doesn't sound good. Let's call it heart-eye. Chin Yumo gave it a name. Then he began to ponder. If this divine sense can still expand. After reaching a certain level, will you be able to see everything about Sakura Island at home? It's a little further away. Can you even see Kimchi Country? Be bold, will it eventually cover the entire world? Chin Yumo felt a little excited in his heart. Although I am blind in both eyes, it does not affect my ability to view the world with my heart. And cough. So big, so white, so long. Surprisingly, it's purple. Yumo silently admired for a while, then gentlemanly withdrew his gaze. Downstairs. The purple-haired girl strolling was completely unaware. In the world, besides oneself. An additional person who knows oneself like the back of their hand. Yumo did not rush downstairs. But instead, he studied his newly awakened heavenly eye. He focused all his attention on his eyes. I want to see what my maximum perceptual range is. Feeling spreading from the rooftop towards all sides, it happened to stop by the wall of another building. Everything within the coverage area is incredibly clear. Even the bees hiding in the honeycomb at the corner of the wall have nowhere to hide. He clearly saw the bees passing through the complex channels inside the hive. Following the passage, it is easy to find the innermost queen bee. As long as it is within his perceptual range, everything flying down the third floor in the sky is presented to him. And Yumo estimated this range. The radius is approximately 10 meters. He tried to continue spreading his divine consciousness, hoping to see if he could expand his range a bit further. Once the perceptible range exceeds a radius of 10 meters, it becomes pitch black. It seems that there are so many observation limits now. A radius of 10 meters. Centered around him, up, down, left, right, front and back, including underground. Everything within a 10-meter range cannot escape the eye of heaven. Moreover, you can also choose the viewing direction. You can also directly see behind her through a person. It can also be done solely through clothing. It is a very good ability. Everything can be adjusted by oneself, very considerate. Normally, there's no need to stare underground if you have something to do. What is underground? Either earthworms or ants, all kinds of insects. In the future, go to cheaper places and set up coffins that can see underground. This is a bit frustrating, isn't it? Yumo constantly adjusted his gaze to look in different directions. Zoom in, zoom out, zoom out, zoom in. I had a lot of fun playing. As he was about to withdraw his gaze, Yumo unexpectedly discovered something unusual. A gentle breeze sways in the breeze, and leaves fall. But the speed at which the leaves fall is clearly not right. It seems to be much slower than what he remembers. Yumo looked around slightly, carefully at the falling leaves. But it was discovered. The speed of the other person falling is getting slower and slower. Suddenly, Yumo's heart moved. Turn to the beehive and observe the bees flying out. I found that the speed of bee movement is also much slower than before. It seems like I accidentally discovered another function of the heavenly eye. He held a trial mentality, focused his attention, and stared at the bee that had flown out of the hive. As expected. The speed of the bee has become slower than before. The flapping wings move slowly and clearly. He relaxed his mind and the bees flew faster again. Yumo's heart suddenly became clear, and a wave of joy surged in his heart. It is indeed as I guessed. It's not that bees have slowed down in flight, but rather that they are under the eye of this sky. Under my own focused gaze, I slowed down their speed. By comparison, it is found that the current limit that can be reached is to slow down twice. Bullet time. Yumo glanced at the leaves on the ground, picked them up, and threw them away. Then he focused his gaze on the leaves. Before the leaves could make any movement to fall, he grabbed them in his hand. Yumo smiled, showing a warm and cheerful smile. Twice, it doesn't sound right. However, this is indeed an extremely terrifying concept. A battle between experts, even a blink of an eye, can be fatal. If one can slow down someone else's speed twice, then they are twice as fast as others. It's also about wielding a sword. As soon as your sword was unsheathed, my sword was already inserted into your heart. How else are we going to fight? Hit your head. And most importantly, although when he arrived in this world 2 years ago, his body shrank to the size of when he was young. He was thin and weak, and even became blind. But when he was by Hiratsuka Jing's side, he was constantly practicing. Breathing can increase strength, and sleeping can strengthen the roots and bones. He is practicing while others are eating, and he is still practicing while others are sleeping. Otherwise, how could he be a fast swordsmanship master? She, known as a genius girl, couldn't even see the movements of her attack clearly. Continuing at this cultivation speed will not take many years. He probably doesn't even have to fear modern weapons, does he? Staying by the quiet and lovely side, one can constantly become stronger. Near Shuanai, the same goes for the three of them, even improving faster when they are together. The appearance of Tianyan seems to be related to the girl who doesn't know her name. So, what I need to do next? Is it possible to gain stronger strength and ability by more contact with these anime women leaders? Yumo seemed lost in thought. Is it due to the uniqueness of the third person, or is it because of close contact with the three female protagonists? This point still needs to be verified. P.S. New book release, seeking all data. Request all data related to collection, monthly tickets, evaluation tickets, rewards, etc. Leave a few comments as well if you have a favorite character. You can also leave a message. The author's main focus is on listening to advice and responding to any reservations. 010 Poison Island senior sister is thrilled and invited to her home. You are listening at novel full.audio. Yumo suddenly realized it. The attack in the alley caused an inexplicable and familiar injury. Also, there were previous inquiries from Ryoko Tokushima and his own answers. And the dark side of the other person that they believe cannot be forgiven, hidden beneath their gentle exterior. All connected together, Yumo realized why the other party was so proactive. She thought she had found a peer. With the power of the Poison Island family, it is estimated that all of our opponents are clear. A gentle and elegant young blind man. When dealing with bad people, but when dealing with living people, they are quick, ruthless, and accurate. The injury caused by him is the same as that he caused that year. Isn't this the other side of herself? Yumo stood up and pointed his cane at Ryoko Tokushima. So, senior, how about fighting a battle? Tokushima Ryoko first looked at Yumo, who had broken free from his embrace in confusion. At the moment of hearing the invitation to battle, her eyes suddenly lit up. So, please teach me, Yumo-jun. Tokushima Ryoko's temperament suddenly changed, and she stood opposite Yumo with a wooden knife in hand. Ryoko Tokushima is really strong, in every way. The cane and wooden knife kept colliding. Yumo has always maintained a good balance. That's the feeling, that's the feeling. Ryoko Tokushima's expression gradually began to be exaggerated. A blush inexplicably appeared on the snow-white cheeks. A brilliant smile emerged. The corners of the mouth are raised high. It can be seen that she is really happy. Everyone has the desire to kill, but as humans, we need to learn to control our own desires. Carry out appropriate killings at the right time and place. Believe me, this day won't be too long. At that time, you will be completely released. What Yumo said is naturally the death event next year. After humans become dead, they can naturally engage in slaughter at will. At that time, there will be no government or self-defense forces. You can freely slaughter the dead. Of course, killing is not a big problem. Really? Poison Island Ryoko gasped for breath. I look forward to that day. But before that. Yumo leaned slightly to avoid the wooden knife he violently threw. And easily grasped the wooden knife. Let's have a physical competition with me first. Ryoko Tokushima gave up his wooden knife. Instead, use your own fists and legs to attack. Yumo dodged while putting down his wooden knife and cane. Cooperate and engage in a physical confrontation. Punch after punch. Fists and punches reach the flesh. It's been a long time since I felt so comfortable. Ryoko Tokushima lay on the ground in a large zigzag shape, completely indifferent to his whereabouts. A strange blush still appeared on his face. Slender legs clamped together. Although the young man in front of me is agile and terrifying, he is indeed a genuine blind man. Will you still worry about running out in front of the blind? Yumo admired the beautiful scenery in front of him in a grand and open manner. Anyway, I'm blind, I didn't use my eyes to see. The bell for class has already rang, are you really okay? Yumo reminded. I don't think my current state is suitable for attending classes, but I should go home and change into clothes. Ryoko Tokushima stood up and said. Agree. It must be very uncomfortable to feel sticky. So Mo June, let's go to my house and talk about what happened in the women's restroom last night. Tokushima Ryoko turned to Yumo and sent out an invitation. I thought you weren't curious at all. Or do you know about them? I've been holding it for so long, it's really embarrassing, senior. What I am more concerned about is whether you are the same type of person as me. Tokushima Ryoko said calmly, but his psychological resilience is surprisingly strong. That's right. After all, she is a Poison Island senior who can adapt instantly when facing a dead body attack. Calm and brave, my emotions have always been in a stable and reliable state. Before that, I need to go and talk to Xiaoxue. Also, I need to leave before class ends. There are still people waiting for me at home. Leaving without saying goodbye is not an excellent man. And just finished eating at home and went home late or didn't go home. Not even a qualified husband or man. Would that make Jing cute very distressed? This is not allowed. Junior brother June is really reliable. So I'll wait for you at the school gate, see you and don't part. Ryoko Tokushima readily agreed. She can be said to be very familiar with everything about Yumo. The same goes for character relationships. The orderly and reliable arrangement of Yumo made her eyes even brighter. Same sex attracts each other. Don't misunderstand the nature of personality. For Yumo's arrival, Snowy Snow was clearly much happier. But when they learn that the other party needs to leave. This jailing flower, who has always maintained a cold attitude towards the outside world. It is obvious that there is some disappointment. Is it Sister Poison Island? Shui couldn't help but ask. Well, there are some things that need to be discussed with the other party. Yumo did not deny it, but confessed it honestly. He saw that when he was in contact with Poison Island Senior, Snow was not far away. But Snow can smell it so directly. It surprised him a bit. Noticing the fleeting surprise on the other person's face, Shui twisted her fingers nervously. The fingers as white as jade are intertwined, they must be very soft, right? Quiet and cute, it's very soft, but a bit cool. It's a bit stimulating when held. When will Yumo June come back? Shui is shifting the topic. She is just serving as the minister of the ministry and the delegate of Yumo's classmate. What identity and reason are you asking too much about his privacy? Sorry, Xiaoxue, she shouldn't be coming today. Sister is feeling unwell and will take a leave at home. After communicating with Sister Poison Island, she will go home directly. Yumo still candidly informed. The main focus is on sincerity. Teacher Hiratsuka. It is natural for me to know about Professor Hiratsuka Jing's leave during the snowfall. I could only nod my head, feeling a bit disappointed. I won't see Yumo again for the next afternoon and evening. Yumo reached out and touched Shui Na's little head. I will come over early tomorrow morning. An energy flowed from the palm into Snow's body. Since we know this is an abnormal world, some necessary precautions still need to be taken. It is worth mentioning. Jing's lovely body has been injected with a lot of energy. Evil spirits dare not approach at all, getting too close can lead to death. Sometimes Yumo is speculating. Is this energy of oneself the power to ward off evil? Or spiritual power? In summary, currently it seems that exorcism is a professional match. Well, I'll see Yumo June tomorrow. Snowfall nodded and did not resist Yumo's close contact with her. P.S. The collection is okay, but the data is poor. Vote for reviews, monthly tickets, tips, reminders, and so on. Let's also throw some flowers in Chapter 8. Caught on the highway, clearly only slightly speeding. It's been over 2 hours since the review, but there hasn't been any progress. 013 Is Mo June going to be an irresponsible scumbag or? You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. The rain outside the window was dripping. The water inside the window was dripping, and the sound of the abacus kept ringing. It seems like I'm working hard on accounting. After fiddling with the abacus for a full hour, Yumo lazily stretched his waist. The result has finally been calculated. It's really hard on myself. There's no need to send it to me. You should rest and rest well. Ryoko Tokushima, lying on the sofa, nodded shyly. I have no choice but to lose in the proudest power. Even if it shows extremely strong flexibility. I still lost. I can only bury my head in the pillow and cry in pain. I am really unwilling. The sofa of the Poison Island family is very large, which can be used for sitting or as a bed. There are also many functions, which are very convenient. Yumo has just tested this and has a lot of say. Let Mo June cook delicious congee after hard work. I'm really not a qualified wife. Tokushima Ryoko looked happily at Yumo, who was busy with everything. Shocked by his strong physical strength, he couldn't help but say. Sister Poison Island works even harder than me. Splitting is very physically demanding. Yumo too said without looking back. The main generals of the kendo department are different, they can easily split. That's called a smooth and silky one. I'm still called Poison Island Senior Sister now, isn't it a bit strange, Mo June? Tokushima Ryoko gently reminded. Senior Sister is a nickname for strangers. Poison Island Senior is a term used to refer to people who are relatively familiar with each other. But for someone who licked it once not long ago and ate it twice before and after, it's still too raw, isn't it? I'm sorry, it's my fault. I'll call you directly from now on. Yumo immediately reflected and changed his tune. There is no discomfort at all, it is very smooth. First, drink some water to moisturize your throat. It's really hard work, son. After the congee is cooked, Yumo puts it into the heat preservation box. Poured a glass of water and handed it to Ryoko Tokushima. This is what a qualified wife should do, and Mo June is indeed not human. These are all uncontrollable natural reactions. After taking it, Ryoko Tokushima took a sip and coquettishly said. I believe no man would be unhappy to hear this, right? In short, Yumo is very satisfied and willing to give Ryoko Tokushima a perfect score. Wait for Ryoko Tokushima to drink a glass of water. Yumo reached out to pick it up and strode towards the bedroom. Mo June. I think both you and I need to rest. I really can't eat it anymore, it hasn't gone down yet. Tokushima Ryoko naturally hugged Yumo's neck. In a panic, he said. Although every woman hopes her husband is strong enough. But being too strong is also very distressing. Fool, what are you thinking? Yumo gently placed it on the replaced clean bed sheet. Lathishly flicked the smooth forehead of Ryoko Tokushima. Have a good rest. The cooked congee is in the incubator. You can't drink it now, can you? Ryoko Tokushima touched his warm lower abdomen. Indeed, it's all bulging up from eating, and I can't take a bite anymore. Is Moken going back? Said Ryoko Tokushima. Chinyuma nodded and said, it's getting late, but there's still a big white rabbit waiting to be fed at home. People leave school at noon, and it's already time for class to end. When you go back, you need to hurry up, otherwise the big white rabbit at home will be anxious, right? Tokushima. Ryoko propped up and gently kissed Chinyuma's cheek. Mo Jun is really a very magical person, so hurry up and go back. See you tomorrow. Chinyuma nodded and said, see you tomorrow and rest well. Ryoko Tokushima nodded gently and lay down obediently. Chinyuma turned around and left, suddenly stopping at the door. What's wrong, Mo Jun? Said Ryoko Tokushima curiously. Chinyuma turned around and asked, don't you leave me here to take care of you and accompany you. I was fortunate enough to meet Mo Jun, thanks to teacher Hiratsuka, said Ryoko Tokushima with a gentle smile, and the second room cannot compete with the first room for favor. Would Mo Jun be very distressed? It is obvious that Ryoko Tokushima has already figured out the origin of Chinyuma. I am also well aware of Chinyuma's relationship with Professor Hepping. In her traditional educational philosophy, she does not oppose men having multiple wives. Of course. The premise is that you can conquer the Poison Island Ryoko, who is all over Yujiao. It is obvious that she, with her explosive combat power, cannot be conquered by anyone. Chinyuma flashed a hint of embarrassment and said, you seem a bit scumbag to me like this, Riko. He was not surprised at the fact that Ryoko Tokushima was aware of his situation. The Poison Island family is a famous swordsman, not an ordinary family. This information is still easily obtainable. So, is Mo Jun going to be an irresponsible scumbag or a responsible scumbag? Satoko Tokushima chuckled lightly. Chinyuma smiled and said, as a man, it's natural to take responsibility. A man. Satoko Tokushima joked, it seems that 17-year-old Moken can't be called a man. According to Chinyuma's identity information, he is indeed only 17 years old now. I think whether it's a man or not needs to be divided based on psychology and strength. Otherwise, even at the age of 50, he would still be just a child. Chinyuma said seriously. What Mo Jun said is right, said Takako Tokushima with a gentle agreement, take a good rest, what you are looking forward to may come true soon. Leaving a mysterious sentence, Chinyuma strode out of the room. Recalling just now holding on to him and still walking briskly. If it weren't for seeing Chinyuma's eyes with her own eyes, would she really suspect that her husband is really blind? What a magical and mysterious man he is. Mo Jun just said, what I expect will be realized soon. Watching Chinyuma's departure, Ryoko Tokushima felt lost in thought. Can we fight with all our might? I'm really looking forward to it, Majuan. She pursed her lips, showing a look of anticipation. Touching the warm lower abdomen, I quickly fell into a deep sleep. The invisible faint light envelopes it inside. Unknown changes are emerging. After carefully inspecting the entire building, Chinyuma walked out of the Poison Island house with an umbrella. The rain gradually stopped, and there was some standing water on the road. Chinyuma rushed home with flying steps, and the pond only stirred up a slight wave. Oh my! Why is this water so deep? One person stepped directly on the puddle that Chinyuma had stepped on, and the entire shoe instantly soaked through. A path that others can easily pass through does not mean that anyone can. P.S. Seeking flowers, evaluation tickets, monthly tickets, tipping, urging updates. The images and information of subsequent characters will be added one by one. Those who leave comments in the comment section will also be arranged one by one, but when it will appear, there may be uncertainty. Need to consider how to arrange it. 09 People called her sister before, but later what is it called? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. A woman is a strange creature. Will fall into disappointment due to something. I will quickly fill my mind with 30 episodes of Sweet Life because of a certain sentence. Then he fell asleep with a silly smile. Good night, quiet and lovely. Chinyuma whispered. After thinking for a moment, she leaned over and kissed Jing's lovely face. Hiratsuka Jing suddenly opened her eyes and moved her cheeks. Immediately mouth to mouth. Hiratsuka Jing was almost out of breath and pushed him before he let go. "Why don't you hide? I am blind and unable to see." What he said makes sense, but for a while, Shizuki Hiratsuka was speechless. "Why don't you leave afterwards?" "Because Jing is not only cute but also very sweet." Yumo gave a slightly savory smack on his lips. Looking at Yumo's face, who had removed the black cloth strip, Hiratsuka Jing suddenly turned over and pushed him down. "I've made a decision." "What did it decide?" Yumo looked curiously at Ping Zujing sitting on top of him. The sheer nightgown couldn't stop her figure at all. Hiratsuka Jing leaned over to Yumo's ear and exhaled, "Helan. Sister, I won't get married in my whole life. It's my first time changing for you." Yumo was suddenly silenced, but was Jing cute stimulated by something? "I'm a blind person, don't you regret it?" "Why regret it?" "I'm afraid if I wait any longer, I'll have nothing left." Feeling the unease in the tranquility and cuteness of the body, Yumo gently held it in his arms. "We've agreed a long time ago that we won't be apart for a lifetime. Was it a year ago or when?" He reached this agreement with Hiratsuka Jing, and it was agreed that neither of them would leave each other. "Well, we won't be separated for a lifetime, but we can find a different way." "Sister, I won't get married in my lifetime. Anyway, I'm so old." "But you can't refuse to marry. You're only 17 years old, and your future is still very long." Ping Zujing's words stunned Yumo. Never part for a lifetime. Not getting married. But he wants to marry himself. His CPU suddenly burned out a bit. He couldn't help but twist his waist, but was held down by Hiratsuka Jing's hand. "Don't move around, I'll do it." Hiratsuka rested for a while and whispered. "Xiaoxue is a good child. She doesn't dislike you and takes good care of you. She can also tell from the way she looks at you that she is interested in you. Go ahead and marry her home. I will prepare everything else for you. I'm short of everything, just not short of money." Yumo is like meat on a chopping board, allowing the other party to swallow him continuously. I was also shocked by Hiratsuka Jing in my heart. "So, what is the name, sister, in front of someone, and what is the name, sister, behind someone?" "Yumo, I can't bear to part with you." Hiratsuka Jing bit her silver teeth lightly and whispered. A tear mark flowed from her beautiful eyes. "Me too, quiet and lovely." Yumo was deeply moved by the silly and lovely silence. The summer rain comes quickly, and the majestic heavy rain pours down on the world. The pitch-black streets were empty, with raindrops crashing down to the ground. In the blink of an eye, one small pool after another accumulated. When the bright sunshine once again falls on the earth, the water pool on the ground did not quickly dissipate and evaporate due to time. A ray of sunlight shone on Hiratsuka Jing's face, and she suddenly opened her eyes. Looking at the bright sunshine outside the window. Shizuru Hiratsuka is so numb, how could he sleep so soundly? "It's over, I actually slept until now." Hiratsuka is quiet and wants to cry without tears. "No way, last night I was a little too tired, so I slept a bit soundly." "Understood. Understand but do you want to tell the school that you ate your younger brother yesterday and overslept? Or is it that my younger brother is super brave, so he's too tired?" Hiratsuka Jing seemed to see her impending death in society. Yumo's figure is no longer on the bed. Hiratsuka sat up with her sore waist propped up, her blanket slipping off, and the room instantly lit up again. Many peach blossoms are blooming in the air, breathtaking. Folded clothes were placed at the bedside, and cool slippers were neatly placed next to the bed. Touching the clothes prepared by Yumo for herself, there was a touch of tenderness in Ping Zujing's eyes. A warm breeze like spring breeze, melting the ice and snow of the cold winter and 12th month. Ding dong. There is news coming. It's a voice message from Yumo. Hiratsuka Jing quickly picked up her phone and saw more than 10 voice messages. Quickly listened one by one. The content is the same, but I'm afraid I might not notice it when Hiratsuka quiets down. This only sends one message every once in a while. And when he left, he kindly muted his phone and placed it by the bedside. You can see it quickly when you open your eyes. Hiratsuka Jing squinted her eyes and listened happily to Yumo's instructions. The sheets have been washed and sun-dried, so she doesn't have to worry. Breakfast is cooked congee. Too much water shortage is bad for your health, so you need more water. Lunch is also ready and being kept warm in the incubator. He also arrived at school early to help Shizuki Hiratsuka take a good leave, but the principal couldn't happily agree. And instructed her to rest more. The beer in the refrigerator has been taken away and drinking is not allowed today. At the same time, I expressed my apologies to Hiratsuka Jing. Last night I didn't hold back, which may have made it difficult for Jing Cute to move today. What a gentle little brother. How can I leave you like this? Hiratsuka is as quiet as a 17 or 18-year-old girl, with a peach blossom-like face. Looking at a piece of cloth cut off from the sheet. There were also clean sheets that had been replaced, and Hiratsuka Jing couldn't help but blush. She held the palm-sized cloth in her palm. Then, with a happy expression, he listened to Yumo's instructions over and over again. The silly appearance is very cute. Still the familiar rooftop. Yumo saw the news and read it, which indicates that Jing Cute has finally woken up. He gave a knowing smile. Jiya. The door to the rooftop opened, and Ryoko Tokushima saw Yumo basking in the sun with a gentle smile on his lips. Yumo-jun, good afternoon. Good afternoon, senior. The fragrant breeze struck, and my arms were once again engulfed. My warm body tightly pressed against me. Yumo was a bit surprised. He hadn't seen the other party much either. Why are you so passionate about yourself? Xiaoxue has safely returned home. She asked me to tell you that she will sincerely thank you. Yesterday she brought Xiaoxue home. It wasn't until this morning that the other party woke up. She arranged for the driver to take it back home. And Xiaoxue falsely claimed that he didn't come back because he played with her Poison Island Ryoko too late. She did not let her parents know about urban legends. To avoid making them overly worried. Yumo nodded calmly and turned his head to look at his enthusiastic senior sister on the side. We are of the same kind, Yumo-jun. Poison Island Ryoko stared at Yumo. P.S. New book release, seeking all data. Request all data related to collection, monthly tickets, evaluation tickets, rewards, etc. Leave a few comments as well if you have a favorite character. You can also leave a message. The author's main focus is on listening to advice and responding to any reservations.